Hello everyone, welcome to Students Point. This is 22nd of June and today we are going to see 9 selected questions. Today each question is very important, so be attentive and be focused till the end. And if you are finding my videos useful, don't forget to like the video and share the video with your friends and loved ones. Also don't forget to subscribe this channel and press the bell icon so that you never miss any opportunity to learn and grow every day by receiving notification of all the important videos from this channel. Let's begin, but first you have to answer one question in the comment section. The question is, Sunabeda Wildlife Sanctuary is located in, these are the options. Read the options carefully and then answer it in the comment section. Let's begin now. The first question. Chaolung Sukapa is well known as the founder of, so Chaolung Sukapa is founder of a home kingdom. So here B is the right answer. Chaolung Sukapa was a 13th century ruler who founded a home kingdom that ruled Assam for 6 centuries. And contemporary scholars trace Chaolung Sukapa's roots to Burma, which is the present-day Myanmar. And he reached Brahmaputra Valley in Assam from Upper Burma in 13th century with around 9,000 followers with him. And in 1235 AD, Sukapa and his people settled in Charaidio in Upper Assam, after wandering for years, defeating those who protested against his advances, and temporarily staying at different locations. The area witnessed the birth of a home kingdom, and this ruler was in news recently because some scholars has called him that he was a Chinese invader. That is why Assam government has called for arrest of those scholars. Next question now. Favipiravir, which is also called as Fabiflu, an antiviral drug, was first approved in, so Favipiravir, which is also known as Fabiflu, is or was first approved in Japan in the year of 2014. And it is an antiviral drug that was developed and approved first in Japan in the year of 2014. The drug targets the RNA or ribonucleic acid polymerase RT-RP enzymes that are dependent on RNA. And for transcription and replication, that is for multiplication of viruses, the RNA polymerase enzymes are necessary for the DNA or RNA genes of virus. So this drug restricts the virus to replicate itself in the human body, thus it limits the viral load in the human body. Ultimately, the viral or virus number does not increase in human body and it slowly gets eliminated. And it was in news because this drug was approved by National Regulatory Authority for Indian Pharmaceuticals, which is CDSCO. This is the agency which approves drugs in India. This is called as Central Drugs Standards Control Organization. So CDSO has approved the manufacturing of these drugs by Mumbai-based Glenmark Pharmaceuticals company to treat COVID-19 patients. These drugs has been showing notable efficacy as per the results from Russia and Japan. Though these drugs has not passed all the levels of approval of a medicine, though it has shown better results till now in any of the trials. And few days back I have discussed in detail about the 6 stages of vaccine formation. If you have not watched that video, I will suggest everyone to watch that video too, as that video is very important because the entire world has been witnessing the COVID-19 pandemic. So questions related to vaccines have high chances to be asked in examinations this year and as well as the next year. And this Glenmark Pharmaceuticals has assured the availability of such drugs in next 7 to 10 days across the country. The price of each tablet will be rupees 103 and the tablet will be available in a combined strip of 34. The cost of a strip will be rupees 3500 and each tablet will be of 200 mg. However, the drugs or this drug can be used by patients only on the prescription of doctors, and as such this drug has become the first drug in India to be approved by CDSCO to be used for COVID-19 patients recovery. And remember that this is a drug to be used for recovery and treatment of patients, not to be used as a precaution. So anyone who is not suffering from COVID-19 disease are not suggested to take this drug because it is not a vaccine, it is a medicine which will be used to treat those who are already suffering from this disease. Next question now. An automated lung ultrasound, in short called as LUS, for COVID-19 screening and monitoring has been developed by, so this LUS for COVID-19 screening and monitoring has been developed by IIT Palakkad. So here C is the right answer. And it will screen and monitor through cloud-based image analysis and a scoring system. The app is first of its kind in India and is now available for clinicians to perform automated analysis by just uploading the ultrasound video. And the approach is not restricted to COVID-19 detection but also helps in identification of other lungs infections. Next question. Now this question is going to be very important for everyone. So everyone be attentive. Consider the following statements about Rajya Sabha election. You must have heard the news that elections for some members in Rajya Sabha is going on at present. So let's see. Only elected members of state legislative assemblies can vote in a Rajya Sabha election. This statement is absolutely correct. Only elected and not nominated MLAs, that is the members of state legislative assemblies, can vote in a Rajya Sabha election. So suppose if two members are to be elected at present from UP, so MLAs of UP and only elected MLAs of UP will vote to choose these two members from that state, and these members will be elected and will be sent to Rajya Sabha as MP of Rajya Sabha. And elections in Rajya Sabha is held in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. This statement is also correct. So this system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote is also used in the election of President of India, and this is also used in election of members of Rajya Sabha. So what is this system? We will understand today in detail. But here, since both of these statements are correct, so C is the right answer. And in this system, now we are going to understand what is this system. In this system, each MLA's vote is counted only once. Remember that each MLA's vote is only counted once, and MLAs don't vote for each seat. If MLAs will vote for each seat, then only ruling party representatives would be chosen in the Rajya Sabha. For instance, suppose Bharatiya Janata Party is ruling UP. So if we have to elect two members from UP into Rajya Sabha and voting is going on for election of such members, and elected MLAs are voting for the election of these two members. So when ruling party is BJP, then automatically BJP has more number of MLAs in the Legislative Assembly. So when MLAs of Legislative Assembly of UP will vote each time for election of each MLAs, then automatically for each time the member of ruling party will be elected. And that is the reason why MLAs can vote only for once and their vote is counted only for once. So suppose if 5 members are to be elected, then these 5 members are listed in a paper, and each MLA has to give preference out of these 5 members, that whom they want to see as first, whom they want to see as second, third, fourth or fifth, and their vote is then counted only for once for a single member, and then elimination method is adopted. So here MLAs are given a paper with the names of all candidates, and they have to give the order of preferences for each candidate, marking as 1, 2, 3, and based on their preferences, the candidates are declared to be winner into the Rajya Sabha. I hope everyone got this. And the Election Commission of India issued 2 circulars in the year of 2014 and 15, giving Rajya Sabha members the option to press nota, that is none of the above button in the upper house polls. So Supreme Court later on in 2018 said that this provision of nota cannot be applied in Rajya Sabha as there is provision for indirect election in Rajya Sabha. Supreme Court said that nota or none of the above applies only in general election, where the elections are held in accordance to universal adult franchise or universal adult suffrage, where electors or voters elect their representatives directly. And it is also to be noted that Supreme Court has ruled that members can vote in Rajya Sabha elections even before taking oath as legislator. Generally, there is a provision that only after taking oath in the House a member can vote in passage of any bill. However, Supreme Court has ruled that member even before taking oath can participate in the election of members for Rajya Sabha. I hope you got the difference. Next question now. The United Nations declared June 21st as the International Day of Yoga in which year? So it was year 2014 when United Nations declared June 21st as the International Day of Yoga. And the date 21st of June was suggested as it is the longest day of the year in Northern Hemisphere, and it shares a special significance in many parts of the world. And the first International Day of Yoga was celebrated on 21st of June 2015 at Rajpath in New Delhi. So don't confuse between the year in which United Nations declared it as International Yoga Day, that was the year of 2014, and it was the year of 2015 when the first International Yoga Day was celebrated. And the World Health Organization mentions yoga as means to improve health in Global Action Plan on Physical Activity 2018-2030, more active people for a healthier world. Next question, again going to be very important. Consider the following statements about types of eclipses. Total solar eclipse happens when sun, moon and earth are in a direct line. This statement is correct. So when moon completely hide or completely forbids the light of sun and it don't allow any rays or solar rays to enter or reach to earth, then that scenario is called as total solar eclipse. While partial solar eclipse happens when shadow of moon appears on a small part of sun. This statement is also correct. While the third one, which is called as annular solar eclipse, which happens when moon is farthest from the earth, thus moon appears a smaller and moon does not block the sun completely, but looks like a dark disk on top of large sun colored disk, forming a ring of fire. So how ring of fire forms? Let's see through this figure. If this is the sun, moon is able to cover only this portion of the sun and the outer area is visible from the earth. That is how this looks like a ring and a portion of it sparkles. So the entire system is called as ring of fire. So I hope you understand all these three types of solar eclipses, and this is the eclipse, that was the annular solar eclipse which we have witnessed last day on 21st of June. So since here all of the statements are correct, so D is the right answer. Next question now. Consider the following statements about Financial Action Task Force. Again this question is very important, so be attentive. It is an intergovernmental body established in 1989 during the G7 summit in Paris. The statement is correct. Remember the year? It was established in the year of 1989 in Paris. It set standards and promote effective implementation of legal, regulatory and operational measures for combating money laundering, terrorist financing and other related threats to international financial system. This statement is also correct. So this is the prime function of FATF, that is, it sets standards, promote effective implementation of all the legal, regulatory, operational measures to combat against money laundering, terrorist financing and all other related threats to integrity of international financial system. So since here both of the statements are correct, C is the right answer again. And Secretariat of FATF is located on Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development's headquarters in Paris. It consists of 37 members and India is also member of the FATF. FATF has two lists. You must have heard about two lists of FATF many times. Let's see what is it. The first one is grey list and then we have black list. The grey list lists the countries that are considered to be safe haven for supporting terror funding and money laundering. And grey list serves as warning for that country that you might enter into blacklist if you don't hinder terrorist funding and money laundering. While blacklist lists those countries which are known as non-cooperative countries or territories. And it was in news because recently India has attended virtual 32nd Special Eurasian Group on Combating Money Laundering and Financing of Terrorism, in short called as EAG, plenary meeting under the aegis of FATF. So what is this EAG and how this is related to FATF? See, EAG is associate member of Financial Action Task Force, and EAG is a regional body comprising of 9 countries which includes India, Russia, China, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan and Belarus. So this organization includes 5 Central Asian countries along with India, Russia, China and Belarus. Next question now. Which section of IPC or Indian Penal Code provides for punishment for attempts to commit suicide? And it is the section 309. Section 309 punish those who were trying to commit suicide, and anyone who survives an attempted suicide can be booked under this section, which deals with attempt to commit suicide. It provides for simple imprisonment for a term which may extend up to a year or even with fine or both. In 2008, however, Law Commission in its 210th report said that an attempt to suicide needed medical and psychiatric care and not punishment. Similarly, in 2011, Supreme Court too recommended Parliament that it should consider feasibility of deleting this section 309. Later on, Parliament passed an act called as Mental Health Care Act 2017, which came into force in July 2018, has reduced the scope for use of section 309 IPC and made attempt to commit suicide punishable only as an exception. So still this section is applicable. However, government will punish only those when it is proven that that person was not suffering from any stress. However, if that person was suffering from any stress and it will be preconceived that that person was suffering from stress, that is why he or she was trying to commit suicide, government will try to provide health care and psychiatric support. However, if in any case that is proven that he or she was not suffering from any stress, then that person is eligible to be punished under this section. And if you have not liked the video yet, do like the video, share the video with your friends and loved ones. Next and last question now. World Hydrography Day is observed on, so it is observed on 21st of June. So here B is the right answer. And in 2005, a resolution was adopted at United Nations General Assembly under which 21st of June was recognized as World Hydrography Day from 2006 onwards. The theme for this year is Hydrography Enabling Autonomous Technologies. And hydrography, what is it? It is the science of surveying and charting bodies of water such as seas, lakes and rivers. An International Hydrographic Organization, in short called as IHO, was founded on 21st of June in the year of 1921. So I hope you find the lecture useful. Don't forget to like it, share the video with your friends and loved ones, subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, wait for the upcoming video. Until then, stay at home, stay safe. Thanks a lot.